JesssFam even continues this on. Like, I don't know if you guys saw her stories, but she posted up a story where she's like still going on my lame ass Disney trip or whatever it was. And so she's like trolling at this point, and then she's getting DMs from her fans calling you guys and other people like names, like actually being rude. JesssFam's going, oh, I'm sick of people on the internet being rude, thinking I won't say anything. But she literally said she wouldn't say anything because she just ignores it. Like you said in the live, is that JesssFam claimed that she 100% ignores the hate. But in fact, this situation shows that she completely let it consume her.
Yeah, and also adding on to what you were saying, I actually got blocked by Talia on my main account after this situation. And my other account, the account that I was live on, it got deleted because so many like people were reporting it, their fans and everything.
Wow.
And so I've been able to
the mothers were reporting it.
The mothers, yeah.
Because we're the fans or like fan base, it's like our friends, and we all have
the fandom. Like Jess, she's been liking her fans' posts nonstop, which is completely not normal for her. Like she would very rarely show appreciation to her fans. Like I remember she mentioned one time, like a year and a half ago, her fans, and she was like, this is the first time I've ever mentioned my fan pages or anything. And like she would never like our edits unless like you were one of like 3 pages. And now ever since this live, immediately after it, she started liking everyone's post and stuff to try to keep as many fans as she possibly could. And unfortunately Talia couldn't do that because Chloe was her only fan page. But
rest in peace.
Yeah, but I've like had like screenshots in like screen recordings sent to me of stuff that Talia's posted on her stories too, of her completely just mocking us. And I really wish I could see it for myself, but unfortunately I got blocked. But yeah, it's like both of them are so immature and are still like standing behind their actions. And it's like somewhere in themselves, they have to understand that that was wrong. Like I genuinely believe that if they don't think that that was wrong in some sort of way, then they truly need help.
Oh yeah, and you know, with Jess, I haven't seen too much of Talia. I've only seen, I mean, this is honestly the biggest thing I've seen. I haven't really looked into her or anything like that. I just like, honestly, the first time I even saw her was when she went to Tennessee with Jess. But with JesssFam, she's an adult child. She's an adult, but she has a childlike mind. She is very, very, very immature. And it's because she's had this privileged ass life for a long time. If you're sheltered from the world, you'll end up being like Jess. And you can see that through, like I said, her video where she sat for 11 hours waiting for those Disney tickets. I mean, imagine being that pressed about not going to Disney. And again, like, you can be disappointed, but when you go 6 times a year, it's like, is it really that big of a deal? Especially when you also have the thought process of like, well, there's a lot more going on in the world and I want to be safe and this and that. No, the first thing is that it's not about safety. It's not about other people. It's, I want to go to Disney and I'm going to go to Disney. Fuck other people.
Also, one thing I think is so funny is the fact that that in itself shows so much privilege that she has 11 hours of free time straight to where she has nothing else to do but to sit there and like get Disney tickets, when it's like there are people who are working just to barely survive within this pandemic.
Well, JesssFam, and people don't even actually grasp how much money she makes just from vlogging. That's not including sponsorships or brand deals or anything else. When it comes to vlogging, she's making roughly, last time I actually checked on social, because you can check estimates on Social Blade, she was making over $33,000 a month. And that was in 2020. That was during 2020.
Did not know that.
It is beyond what people think. And then with sponsorships, and I thought, you know, with sponsorships at first, I thought like, oh, it's a few hundred, it could be up to a couple thousand. But you guys know who OK Baby is?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Kira, she talked on her Instagram stories about how much she denied from a sponsorship before, and it was $25,000 from one sponsorship. So imagine, you know, they might get a couple hundred to a couple thousand to maybe even 30,000 just from a sponsorship, but that's not including all the stuff they get from vlogging with bare minimum work. Like you said, regular people have to go out and bust their ass, you know, 10 to 16 hours a day for just to get by for the bare minimum, fighting for more money, while JesssFam makes that insane amount of money doing the bare minimum work, yet they claim that they work just as hard as other people, or that they're even remotely the same.
Yeah, and I mean, I really remember during COVID, I was watching one of her videos, and for some reason, it was brought up about a person asked how much she makes, and she only responded with, "I have all of my kids' college paid for."
Yeah.
I actually trolled JesssFam on my YouTube channel, and I know she sees it because right after I said this on my community post, she made a video like the next day, or like a story, maybe what you're talking about, because it was a video based around her son putting on makeup or whatever. I'm also, aside from being anti-family vlog, I'm also an advocate for children. I actually care about children, and I'm like, do these kids get paid? And their excuses are, oh well, they have a house and food, so yeah, but that's just like a necessity. It's not payment, because these other people get paid too, but they also have a house and food, so that doesn't really correlate. But anyways, I made a post trolling JesssFam, asking her if she paid her son for that video, and the next day she uploads probably what you're talking about on her Instagram story, saying that all her kids have like funds or whatever, and they're all paid for, the accounts, but she's like, my kids are paid for, and she sounded 100% on that, right? The next thing she said in the next breath was, I don't know any information about it whatsoever. So your kids get money, but you don't know how much, you don't know the percentage. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. If you make $30,000 a month off vlogging, what percentage of that goes to your kids? It's really simple. It's not hard. And she just chalked it up to, oh, the accountant makes it. I'm like, okay, well, what is the accountant telling you then? But she doesn't know anything about it. It doesn't make any sense.
There was one thing that I wanted to add is when this was the live. That's because people only saw what happened when we were live with Jess and Talia. They didn't see what happened before, where she was commenting. Juliet, do you want to get in during that live?
Oh, right, yeah. So after the first live we talked about, where Talia just came on and was only commenting on it, after we ended that, I'd like to say, I don't know, 10 minutes later, I look at my phone notifications and I see a notification that says, on my main account, which prior to all of this stuff starting, I had posted my recent Disneyland trip that I went on with my family. And I posted it, and because all the people on that fan page, they're all my friends, I was like, I'm going to put this on my story, and I just said, go check it out. Go like it. I want you guys to see this. Yeah?
Can I add something what happened during that live? How she was commenting towards me?
Oh, yes, you can.
Okay, well, I was crying because I was really I was just really sad and disappointed of the way that she was commenting. I forgot what she was commenting, really, but for me, in my perspective, it's just, again, I looked up to Talia my whole life. I've created this bond with her over the past 2 years, especially with her family. With Jess too, I met Jess actually, and she was really nice and really sweet and everything. And that the way she was responding, it just hit me, and I was I just started to cry. And she was like, why are you crying? Or why are you pissed? And I was just sobbing to her. I was like, I didn't even mean for this to go this way. I'm not even hating on you. And I was like, trust me, if I was hating on you, I would have already left. Because I don't want why would you deal with that?
Yeah.
I have some
comments. I pulled up, I found some screenshots real quick. She says, what's up, when she joins. She says, we were talking about how it wasn't personal, and it was about discussing her actions within the fandom and how we were disappointed. And she commented, how is this not personal? Question mark. This is all in the live, by the way. The first live. And then she says, it's kind of hard because we didn't save the live, but she says, 2 fully vaccinated people hanging out follows the CDC. You either believe in science or you don't. We are doing everything right, and you're pissed. Which was very, I don't know. They always bring up how
they're showing their true colors. That live that people didn't see, that's when I started seeing Talia's true colors. When she was getting all defensive of why I'm crying, how do you not expect me to cry? I even told her, Talia has been a big impact in my life. I had a dark time during quarantine, and her videos made it better. And this fan page, was a whole experience that like just brought me happiness. And for that, just the way that she was responding was like, wow, I didn't expect that. I thought she was like,
yeah, it was a punch in the face, I bet.
Yeah, the punch in the face. And I thought she was gonna be more nicer about it. Maybe she was like gonna like say like, okay, let's like talk this like out. But no, she was just like being straight up and like, why are you crying? Why are you pissed? Yeah. And I was like, I told her. I even like sobbed to her. Like I sobbed to her, crying. Like,
yeah.
I'm not pissed. I never was pissed. I was like, I was about to like end it all there, like just like end the live, but that.
Yeah. So she continues to comment. She said, "Why are you so disappointed?" She worded it very badly, so I'm trying to fix her grammar. But, and then I guess we were saying like whatever, we would say something and we're like, "Does this make sense?" And then she says, "No, doesn't make sense." Again, great grammar. And then she says, "Do your research and realize we are following the rules, and don't and just be pissed, I guess." Which, I mean, us being young in this state of the world, we have to do our research. So for her to assume that we're just coming at her, attacking her, was just very much like, I don't know, it was also kind of a slap in the face. Like we are supposed to be the most supportive people to you, and this is how you are seeing it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Serena.
Also, I want to add something. Literally, I find it really funny how she's commenting on how uneducated we are. But the day before, I was actually on a school field trip, and I was able to meet a virologist who like studies viruses and everything. And I was actually having a conversation with him about COVID and like his opinion on this exact situation because it had been on my mind and everything. And he was like saying that he like agreed with me and everything, and he thinks that especially with young kids you should be like tested before seeing other people with young kids and stuff like that, especially if your kids aren't vaccinated. And I find it funny because she's like, you guys are uneducated, when I'm sure, at least on my part, that I've done a lot more research and reached out to a lot more people than she probably has.
Oh yeah. Well, to be real, the people that are saying that you guys need to be educated probably are only getting their education from what the Disney pamphlet says for them to do.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, also one other thing I'd like to add is a lot of comments I've been seeing on YouTube videos talking about us or just like posting the situation. A lot of people are saying we get paid for having fan pages.
Oh,
I'd like to address, we do not get paid. Yeah. We do this out of love for someone.
I would have stayed silent.
We spend hours of edits. Hours of time on edits.
So rich. Oh my God.
I would have not said anything. I would have just kept on getting the bank and
like I would have been quiet.
I would have been silent if I got paid. Yeah.
If we were getting paid, I think we would have not said anything.
Yeah. So I mean, just to lay that out there, we get zero.
We don't get paid
from this.
I paid $35. It's out of my own money to buy stuff so they can make money.
Yeah.
Me and Chloe both bought tickets to like see them at a convention before COVID started that ended up getting canceled. I paid like $40 for tickets for that. And also I paid extra money to go meet them, which I didn't even end up getting to do. But it's like we do not get paid.
I paid like $35 or like $38 plus tax, like shipping, for merch that I don't think I would ever wear again because of all of this. And I find this all so funny. Like if we were, it's just stupid.
Yeah, if they're saying that while they have no idea the amount of money Jess gets paid. I don't know what it is for Talia. I know she's much smaller than Jess. She still gets paid though. I mean, I get paid from YouTube as well. I don't have nearly the amount that Talia does, but I still can get some decent money. But Jess gets insane amount of money. So they say you all get paid for running fan pages, but they have no idea.
Get paid for having a fan page. It takes time and effort to make all of those edits.
Oh yeah.
It's like our money. No, but like it's just, if you think about it, like our fan pages are like in a way they are helping them. They're getting like
exactly. It's like free advertisement.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I want my money.
Mm-hmm. Well, I even have some of the their community come to my channel and be like, you're just giving them free advertisement, but like, I'm getting paid for this too.
Yeah,
It's
so-
funny
Also,
because
I want to
exposure.
say something that I think that we all accept, that we talked about, that we used to be those people, but once we saw the true colors, like, we understand your channels now,
and that's
We
just the
understand.
product of a young mind. Because, you know, like I said, younger people, they see, you know, they see the family, the perfection and all this. And then sometimes as you get older, you start thinking a little bit more critically and you're like, that's kind of weird. Why would they do that? You know, my wife used to be a huge supporter of JesssFam, KK and Baby J and OK Baby. And now she makes videos with me talking against them and pointing out things that they do in their lies and deception.
I mean, yeah, 100%. So, I mean, going back to what Sunkissed Mama was saying on the first live, it just kind of continued with more condescending comments, and you know, she says, "How else do you expect this to be?" ? And thank you for talking shit about us publicly. It really shows how appreciative you are. I mean, and this is after we spent hours and we have done like so much, what we feel so much for them. And you know, specifically Chloe, for Talia to go on there and to what I think is just being quite immature and disrespectful and living, I think she still lives sort of in a teenage mind, and she sees us as bullies and people that she needs to put her fight or flight senses up to. And to talk like this as I think she's what, 28, 27?
She's like 28, 27.
She's a grown-ass woman.
Talking to a 14-year-old.
I don't pay attention.
I mean, it was breaking my heart because I know how much Chloe looked up to Talia and loved Talia, and it broke my heart to see her be like that. So we get off the live. We're just all kind of in shock that Talia said all those things, because she always preached, you know, being such a, you know, open person and kind and all this. So
I'm so sorry, but she was basically gaslighting me during that live.
She was gaslighting all of us. Both of them.
Their entire persona online is gaslighting.
Yeah, I felt really bad because after that live, because I just started thinking about the opportunities she's gave me at this fan page, and I just felt like that what I was doing, I was like betraying her. But until like they had to tell me like, Chloe, you're not doing anything wrong. She's literally gaslighting. It was like, oh crap.
Well, see, that's insane. You felt like you were betraying her, even though she was.
I'm gonna be honest right now. Doing this right now, I still feel like I'm betraying her, because it's just how much she put that like love support towards me, like my fan page, and I, you know, like it's just like it hurts.
Yeah,
but I gotta be reminded that
it was all fake. To be honest, you know, unfortunately,
it's only until you give them constructive criticism.
Until if you don't agree with them, it's like, okay, we're against you now or whatever.
Right, like I think Serena said, you said you watched Jess's podcast like religiously. Okay, so in that podcast, she says, because you've heard all of them, where she talks about the quote unquote haters, and she says that her and Chris are saying that like constructive criticism is always welcome, but that's the thing, is what you guys were doing was giving constructive criticism. Also, in my videos, I give constructive criticism, but no matter what, it doesn't matter if it's actual hate or if it's actual constructive criticism, it all just will be shoved to hate, and that's it, because nothing can be against them and they can do no wrong.
Definitely. Yeah, like we told them in the live that they keep on saying this is hate. Instead of they're like, Talia was like, instead of hating on us, blah blah blah. Like, no, we even specified when we were on that part and they were on that live, like they were there. We just, like Serena said, this is not hate. This is us like showing our like feelings or like our disappointment.
Yeah, these are like
being a fan can't have that. In their minds, we always have to agree with them, which sucks, you know.
Which specifically, a part in the live, like jumping ahead a little bit, that Talia mentioned, she was like, you guys are supposed to be our fans. Like, you guys don't do this as fans, but it's like, we're such big fans that we're willing to say that we think something's wrong. Because your other fans would just say, well, Jess's other fans, not Talia's, because Talia's is Chloe, would say nothing. Like, it genuinely, in the fandom, it wouldn't be until we would bring something up that people would start talking about it. After like being screamed at by them, basically, and being like seeing all this hate that they brought to us knowingly, like it's very hard to see any positive in it. And it's like genuinely, I was looking back at all these situations that I'd see in their vlogs, and I'm like, how didn't I notice these red flags sooner?
You don't notice it. And then when you notice these like mislips and things kind of add up, or you have this big rug pulled out from under you, then you're like, holy shit, they've done a lot of wrong throughout their entire YouTube career. KK and Baby J, I mean, they've faked being robbed several times. They've faked so many things.
What?
And they have lied. Oh yeah, I proved it all. By the way, go to my channel, you'll see. I have it. Binge watch. A lot of what my content is focused on is pointing out things that people don't see. And I've proved that they lied about being robbed. Things about OK Baby and JesssFam. It's all there for you guys to watch, so please feel free. But there's a huge amount of deception that comes from all of them.
Yeah.
Like Brittany Baby, she said she was quitting family vlogging because she had a big privacy violation. Brittany Morrow now. She had a big privacy violation where somebody, because she vlogged her children, somebody contacted her child through a video game because of their vlog channel. So she stopped vlogging for a couple months and then came out and said, oh, I'm quitting because I care about my children's privacy, and only did that for maybe a couple months, and now is back family vlogging with her children back in there. She even took down her old videos because she was scared or whatever, but now all her old videos are back up.
I did not know that. That's
wow.
If you if you would have told my 11-year-old self that this was gonna happen, that you were gonna argue with the one person that you've looked up to basically your whole life, I would have thought you were bullshitting everything, and that's not true, because the way they depict themselves on the internet did not show the way they responded to us during the live.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I mean we had clarified to them, like when the first live happened, we had said, this is not us, hating on you. This is not us, like I said many times, I didn't even mean for this to go this way. None of us did.
Times.
It kind of ended up being that way because they want to think that us having a difference in opinion is us hating on them. And I mean, to go back to what you were saying about the other family vlogger, how she stopped vlogging because someone intruded the kids' privacy. I remember specifically on the live that's recorded, and there's a full live up, is they say, you're going on saying these things with, our kids and our family plastered on your pages. You get paid to plaster your kids and
absolutely,
show your kids to the world.
Exactly.
You guys are just fan pages. Well, you guys could have a couple hundred to a couple thousand followers.
Yeah,
JesssFam has over 1 million.
If you didn't want us to do that, you could have told us. Especially the way that Talia pursued, her kid Ayla very much loves my head. She's said it on a live before. So if you didn't want me to do that, you could have told me, and I would have understood that.
I mean, even then, it's like, how do you control that if your whole livelihood is made off of getting money from just having your kids on camera and literally showing your kids from their birth all the way to then? We see, Jess doesn't even try to hide that. She says she's very open on the internet, and now that I'm looking at it, I don't know how safe that is for her or for her kids in the future.
Well, she says that while she also says that she doesn't show everything on the internet. There was a video with her and Lilia, and they were talking about that, and she's like, well, there's a crack on the computer screen or something like that. And JesssFam's like, well, we don't show, people think we show everything online, but we didn't show this. And that's her example of not being open, is not talking about a broken computer screen. But then she makes sure, in the time of the process and death of her grandmother, she makes sure to have a camera on standby and to record her children's reaction to it.
Didn't Jess
react her kids grieving, literally grieving.
Yeah.
Didn't Jess said something about Kyson's grade, or show it, I don't know, in a way she was
she always during COVID, it was about Kaden. Yeah, Kyson and Kaden, she constantly would say like Kyson's doing so well, and then there's Kaden.
We had a whole fandom talk.
Yeah,
about
no.
it. So it's not just us. It's like the whole fandom too.
No, she would be talking about how like Caden's always having these behavioral issues, which I feel like if my parents were to share something like that on the internet, I would be extremely embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not okay in my opinion, especially because I doubt that if she were to ask Caden, he would say, yeah, go ahead and share that. Like, no.
Well, JesssFam she spews the idea that her kids have full control over what's pushed out into the vlog, in which I actually made a video on this as well. But Lilia debunks that in the next breath and states that that's not true because like she put like an embarrassing moment in the vlog. So she tells people that the kids approve everything in the vlog, but they're not even allowed to watch the vlogs. And there's things put in there that weren't approved by the kids, and JesssFam thinks it's cute. Well, you might think it's cute, but the kids didn't want it in there. And she's like, I'll stop, but she's been doing that for years. She's not going to stop.
I mean, even then, it's like thinking about how the kids may look back at this in years and think, I was, 7. How was I to know that I wanted that shared on the internet? You don't have much of you have a brain at 7, of course, but you don't have much like, maybe I shouldn't put that on the internet where, millions can see it.
Yeah, you don't have a lot
of
critical,
think about that.
Again, when you're a child, all you're thinking about is playing. You don't think about like critically thinking the aftermath or after effects of things. So if something's put on an embarrassing moment on as a kid when you're like 10, these kids don't even realize the spectrum of the internet. They just think, oh, mom has a camera, but they don't think about like there's a million people watching that. They don't think about that. And later on, they're like, wow, I really didn't like that my mom put that on there. See, now you're going into the whole spectrum of children and consent, which is also something like I also talk about, is that when children are that young on camera, they can't really consent to being on camera. Not that the kids can't be in the background or something like that, but there is a thing where if the kid is like the forefront to your income and your content highlighted in thumbnails and titles, then it kind of goes to like, okay, you're exploiting your kids.
Yeah.